the kitchen worldwide is the thing that makes the home. And it doesn't matter whether you are living, you go into your hut and you sit next to the fire and you have the smell of the food cooking, and you could be anywhere in the world, because it's the same experience. It's the human experience to be cooking in that kitchen with people around you readying for the meal.
I think more and more the kitchen is a big part of the family life. I think a lot of families are living in the kitchen and not in the beautiful home, because the kitchen is the place where things happen.
It brings together these three different aspects of our everyday life. So eating, living, and what I call dwelling. The dwelling part is about how we are in the kitchen, what we do. I was reading just recently that the kitchen is about everything that ends in ing, so everything that ends in ing. So it's about dancing and painting and eating and drawing and singing and working, seducing.
A factor that I see that is really changing kitchen design is that of multi-generational families living within the same household and sharing and using that kitchen, and having folks of all different ages and generations using the kitchen space means that we as designers have to think differently. We have to think about how each one of them uses that, when they're going to use it, how does technology fit into that.
Hoy en día, afortunado o desafortunadamente, lo que no podemos negar es que muchos cocineros se han convertido en auténticas estrellas mediáticas con un gran seguimiento y una gran influencia en una parte importante de la sociedad, y eso yo creo que es una oportunidad para aprovecharlo de cara a lo que es la formación, la educación, la sensibilización de esa propia sociedad, ¿no?
You can see where it goes. People want to buy fresh, people want to cut the middleman, the supermarket, and feel that they're as close to nature as possible. I think people will go back to growing more at home. Maybe you see it with herbs and tomatoes now, but I think it's going to extend more and more. And if people could grow at least a percentage of what they eat at home, this whole infrastructure of eating is going to change.
So I think for me as a scientist, cooking provides a very, very intriguing and engaging way of learning about the natural world. And so we can bring this into schools and early on inspire young students to cook, build those skills, learn about their health, and then also learn about the science behind the cooking.
Pareciera que esta conectividad que nos une a todos nos hace perder identidad, pero todo lo contrario. El hecho de estar conectados nos hace descubrirnos diferentes y nos hace valorarnos diferentes y nos hace mirarnos hacia adentro y reconocer que tenemos algo hermoso en nuestra cultura y que queremos compartirla con otros que están dispuestos a incorporarlas en su vida.
The kitchen of the future is going to evolve in parallel in different places. The biggest changes are going to be for the people who have the simplest kitchens at the moment. But while they are getting kitchens that are more familiar to people living in the West, then doubtless the kitchens of the West are going to be changing as well. And I imagine that the way in which they're going to change is going to become increasingly subject to robots, to systems of mechanization that we can't even imagine at the moment, that will make things extraordinarily easy.
So maybe the kitchen almost becomes like a dispenser machine. So you take out elements, cartridges, and you have that ready for the day or the night, and you come home.
I think we haven't found the new energy or a new way of cooking or storage to replace what we're having right now. It's genius that someone create a microwave, because that changed the way of cooking, like heating the food.
Esa cocina del futuro para mí es esa cocina que ha tenido en cuenta todos los que han participado, por tener en cuenta todo el ciclo de vida de todos los aparatos que están dentro de la cocina, ¿no? Por ejemplo, todo lo que es energía, que sean todos los componentes, todo lo que se mueve, los aparatos que van por energía, tienen que mirar eso, cuidar la ecoeficiencia energética.
We have to be more responsible. In 2016, the real creativity and the real way of future is this level of responsibility. Before it was possible to use 100% of energy. I'm talking about of trees, I'm talking about of marble, I'm talking about of surfaces, I'm talking about of material. Now it's possible to do with a better effect and to use only the 20% of energy. The new treatment with again nanotechnologies on some surface, we retransform something in antibacterial surface. That is it's improving technology. That is the future.
Vamos moviendo hacia un hogar inteligente. La cocina no va a ser una excepción dentro de ese hogar inteligente, y ese hogar inteligente va a favorecer muchos cambios dentro de en cómo las familias interactúan con su casa, ¿no? Y va a permitir que los dispositivos que hasta ahora conocíamos y que solo hacían específicas funciones sean realmente multifuncionales y permitan no solo hacer una cosa, sino jugar diferentes roles, ¿no? Y yo creo que en la cocina cada vez más los dispositivos van a jugar ese rol de apoyar ese entorno social como dentro del hogar familiar.
There are technologies that we are developing in terms of user experience, so the way people interact with an appliance. So there will be a big revolution in the way we operate the appliance and how similar it is versus today operation of digital equipment for entertainment, for example, or communication like a smartphone. But there are also things that the appliance can carry on through these extended capabilities. For example, cooktops. Cooktops that not only allows you to heat an element like a pan to cook your favorite dish, but also tells you when to put and how much of that ingredient and at which time.
The more technology we have, the more opportunity we have to help the kitchen evolve into its new forms, its new functions. One of the first things that will have to happen is a new way of bringing water and electricity and power into our homes, and it'll be more flexible. So we won't have attached cabinets, and perhaps the sink will also move accordingly. We'll be able to start looking at everything within the kitchen, even the appliances, more as pieces of furniture instead of the built-in agenda that has been the kitchen for so many centuries now. And I think by doing this, we'll start to respond to how people actually live. So I think we're going to see the kitchen evolve and be reinterpreted as areas for food throughout our homes.
The kitchen has three parts: aesthetics, function, and emotion. And the emotional part, it's very interesting. Many people don't usually factor that in. For example, I have a sofa in my kitchen. I use it every day and it's comfort. So it's about building in comfort. It's an emotional feeling of well-being and relaxing. Larger windows will add an emotional piece if you have any kind of a nice view or even just getting the light.
I think about flexibility and customization are two elements that it will have more and more importance in the future. Flexibility in the use of the kitchen. So when I'm cooking is the kitchen, when I'm relaxing is another thing. But also on the mindset. So the time in the kitchen in the morning when I have breakfast is completely different from Monday morning or Sunday morning. It's still breakfast, but two different timing, two different, I'm under stress or I'm without stress.
I think the most exciting thing when I consider the kitchen, the heart of the home, is the fact that with all the new technologies and material science, coupled with design, We're going to see dignity for the lifetime, and I can't wait to see what we have in future.